Hello, everyone. I'm Alec, and this is Trev, and welcome to season 2 of the Beanscast. On the Beanscast, we discuss whatever has been destroying our brains this past week. If you enjoy hearing us ramble, click the subscribe button, ring the bell, like the video, and do all the YouTube things so you know when we post a new episode. So,
You
Trev, there
want to know.
was a giant 40-minute commercial that we all watched this week. How did you
True,
feel?
true. Here's the thing, to be completely honest. For me personally, was a little underwhelmed, but I'm okay with that. Like, I'm not upset that the commercial didn't have a bunch of stuff that I wanted for me.
Okay.
I'm happy that there's a lot of Mario stuff that seem very excited about. I don't really give a shit about any of the Mario stuff. So
What
there's a
would
lot of Mario stuff.
what would whelm you in a
Oh, I mean,
Nintendo Direct?
easily if you give me like some of the remaining Zelda games that haven't been ported to Switch
You mean those ones that people have been say are coming for like 5
for
years?
years. And I don't expect them for free. Like I fully expect to pay for those and I'm okay with that. I would still be very whelmed. Some might say
Over?
whelmed.
Oh, over. Okay.
Over, you know. Uh, but I'm like again, like I'm happy that there's stuff that people are excited about. I saw some people play the F-Zero stuff that looked cool. I'm not gonna play it. I know, you know,
I have never
not my
played
kind of
one
game.
of those games. One of the
Yeah,
the like Mario 35, Tetris 99.
yeah, exactly. They're very sticky, gimmicky, but that people seem to like them. So like that's good.
Yeah,
Nintendo's good at making video games,
shocking.
Shocker.
Shocking.
Yeah. Um
Okay. So we're
I
going
do
to
think the Peach stuff looked cool,
yeah, we're going to
Like I
run through
think
it
that looked cool. Yeah.
real
Okay.
quick. So,
Let's do it.
this article from IGN has the one more thing at the beginning here. Uh Paper Mario Thousand Year Door HD announced. I don't remember this game very much. I know I've played
I never played it.
it. I don't know how much of it I played. Very happy
Hmm.
for people that can't get over the fact that uh, Nintendo won't make the same game every time,
Yeah.
and they're so excited to have the Thousand Year Door back. I will probably buy it and play it, so that's fine. Mario versus Donkey Kong. Did you ever play one of these on the
Nope.
GBA?
Nope.
Okay, well, it's back. Not gonna buy it.
Yep. There you go.
Uh, 099, which we talked about.
Yep. Aforementioned. Yep.
Uh, Princess Peach Showtime. I am very excited about.
This looked cooler than all the other Mario games to me,
I thought this looked
including Wonder.
so cool. I like the
Yeah.
just the still that like
And like to be honest, I have a voucher. If this is voucherable, I might use my voucher on this.
um yeah, it looks really fun. It's a
Yeah.
much better gimmick than her previous game, where her gimmick
Hmm.
was her irrational girl emotions.
Hmm.
That's how she got her superpowers.
Yes, these are much better gimmicks.
It's
Like
a
giving her a
much better
sword.
gimmick.
That's way more badass. Yeah.
The I'm gonna save the day at a theater and do a bunch of costume changes to gain different powers. Like that looked really interesting, and the fact that it changes up the gameplay, like good job.
Hmm. And also because it changes the gameplay, I wonder how much, to what extent, if it gives it a lot of replayability, kind of a thing,
I mean, I assume
That's all interesting.
it's like the floors of the most recent Luigi's Mansion, where it's just like
Hmm.
every level is a different gimmick.
Hmm.
Not like you can take the sword fighter with you into any level.
And replay it into a different level to see
Yeah.
what that does. You can't like interact with it in a different space, which is fine.
Uh, Good news for fans of low polygon boobs.
Well, so as a fan of low polygon, well, a former fan of low polygon boobs,
Okay.
I was more excited about this than probably 50%, 50 to 70% of the other things
I'm
announced.
sorry for immediately insulting the thing that you were excited about.
That's fine. No, I don't. I still don't think I'll buy it, to be clear. Because I'm sure it'll control like shit. The original games, I think all three of them had this really shitty save mechanic where you had to find save crystals in the wild to be able to save the game. You couldn't just like pause it and save it. And getting to the save crystals was like an adventure sometimes.
I feel like
So like
that
I
that feels like something that would probably be top of the list to get addressed if they're addressing anything.
Yeah. I think they used words like faithful remake. And so
that could be pretty cringe.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sure it'll control like shit. So
I love that they're like, if you want to play this in the ugly ass PS1 art style, you can.
yeah, that's great.
Here's a
Oh
little
god, that's what the people want.
here's a little toggle to like really just grain up the screen.
That's so funny.
Luigi's Mansion 2 HD.
Yes.
This feels the most like I know a lot of people are probably coming out of this direct talking about how it's like a treading water direct. It feels like this feels the most like we need something in that slot.
Yeah. A lot of people were excited about specifically Luigi's Mansion. I think a lot of people have very fond memories. I don't know if 2 is the one that people wanted though ported. I don't have the same familiarity with the series that a lot of other people do.
Yeah.
But I think there was some hype around Luigi's Mansion.
Splatoon.
So like the DLC will get. I'm gonna get the DLC because I assume it'll interact with the multiplayer in some capacity.
I will wait to see how it interacts with the multiplayer.
That's a good idea.
If it's necessary at all.
I just imagine like there's some sort of weapons or something you can get in the single player that then you can take over to the. They wouldn't give you anything too OP though, I bet.
Yeah.
Because it is a very balanced game. So.
I did not finish the single player story in the base game, so I don't feel
haven't
like
either.
I need another one personally.
Fair.
Prince of Persia. This every time this comes on, it looks really good, and I kind of want to
You get excited about it,
even though it's not a game that I would play.
Yeah.
Usually, but I loved the PS2 Prince of Persia games, which I know are also not this game, but it just looks so pretty and frenetic and fun.
Sure.
But I will probably suck at it.
Yeah. But it could still be an enjoyable experience because, like, some games, I mean, I guess it depends on the difficulty level or how tough it is. It could still be fun just to play through.
Yeah.
You don't have to be, like, really good at it,
I mean, and it is Ubisoft, so it comes out January 18th. By, like, February 3rd, it'll probably be half off.
On sale.
Yeah.
So, and then it'll be worth it either way, probably. Yeah. Check it out. I'm with you.
Super Mario RPG remake. Very excited. We'll be playing it day one.
Okay.
Have you ever played Super Mario RPG?
No.
It is a Wild West of a game in that like Mario was not this crafted character yet.
Okay.
So the things and situations that happen in the game, this game would not. It doesn't feel like it would get made in today's Nintendo, so it's interesting that they're doing such a faithful remake
of it.
Because
there's some things that current day Nintendo might actually like object to and how it's
I just don't think that they would do it. But clearly they're not entirely opposed to it because they're remaking it.
This is gonna give that Wii shop song some more life,
Super Mario RPG.
Yeah,
yeah. So that, I mean, it looks very fun. Cool. It looks like the original game, just prettier.
And if people are hyped about that, that's great. A lot of Mario.
I mean, there's part of me that wonders because I don't think Square has anything to do with this. Part of me wonders if they just remade it so that they didn't have to ask Square or pay Square anything for the original game.
That's very funny.
Which would be very valid. Okay, Trombone Champ. This game would probably be very fun if you had a group of friends together and you were not sober.
Yeah, definitely a great party game, which the Switch is a perfect party system console. Like, it really is. And did you see that there's, one of the modes where you're actually like,
Yeah, you're actually
controlling
doing
yeah,
the slide.
like that's very cool. That's very cool. People will love that. I think it'll be fun. Are people still playing this game? I know like this game was pretty hyped for a little bit, but are people still playing it?
Didn't it just come out?
Uh, for other consoles, it's been out for a little bit.
Oh, I
I've
had
saw
no idea.
trombone clips for
Zero
several
idea.
months. Yeah,
Um,
trombone champ.
oh, originally came out last year exclusively on PC. Yeah, no idea.
Yeah.
I
Well, I
think
didn't know it was just PC. I thought it was other consoles as well.
um I think it'll be this seems like a
It'll get
game that
another
would
life.
do better on the Switch than as a
Totally.
PC game.
I think it would be a lot of fun to play with friends, especially depending on how wide the library is. Because games like this, the library is pretty important of music.
Yeah.
I just think if they have a good enough licensing to get good songs, then it'll be a lot of fun. Great party game for sure.
Dave the Diver.
I'll try this demo. There's a demo. I'll try
There
it.
is a demo, and it's coming out very soon, in like a month and a half.
The
also
premise
is
is if you go hunt fish and then turn them into sushi and then serve the sushi. So it's like a full circle service order. And both of us have been in the service industry. So I mean, we can definitely want to do that in a video game.
Oh yeah. I'd love to come home from getting people their orders to get people their orders.
But you gotta go kill the fish first.
That's totally something that excites me in life is killing the
True.
fish.
Killing fish. True.
Killing fish.
You love that.
Love it.
Love it.
Mario Kart 8 last booster pack of the DLC.
Is it?
Yeah. This is the last
So
one.
it's all the courses now, and there's all the characters. They finally released like the Diddy Kong. Was it Daisy?
Daisy was in the last one?
Who was the one that they just put out in the new one too? It was Diddy Kong.
Diddy, Funky, Pauline, and Peachette.
Funky. Pauline. That was it. Pauline is what I was thinking of. Thank you.
I'm
not gonna lie, I haven't played any of the DLCs. I don't care. I do not care about this game. I just don't care about this game.
Think I have? I mean, I have them because I have Nintendo Switch Online.
NSO. Yeah, exactly. So do I. Yeah, I just don't care about this game. It was cool. 4 Christmases ago.
Yeah. It's cool that they have done this and that it comes with your Nintendo Switch Online.
It's cool that it comes with the Nintendo Switch Online. Yes, agreed.
If you're not going to make a new Mario Kart, supporting this decade-old one still.
And adding value to your membership subscription service. Sure. Yeah, I'm with you.
That's cool, but
also just make a new one.
Detective Pikachu Returns.
Will watch. Or excuse me, we'll play.
I will not. No desire.
Well, I will watch somebody play it and then I'll play because I've been burned by games like this before where I'm like, yeah, it'll be a fun time suck, and then it's not. I'm gonna watch somebody play it, and then
it'll be interesting to see if this one is a better full through game, like cohesively and narratively, because the other one was released in chapters initially, and even if you play like the full Western release, that's one game, you can feel it. So
yeah,
maybe this one won't be as. But I just don't care. I'm not a big like detective game person.
Sure.
You getting more amiibo?
No, I don't own any amiibo, to be honest, and I'm not going to.
But you could get a Ganon.
Some people really love amiibo though. I mean, that Ganon one's gonna be. People are gonna
do
the
cringe things with it.
Internet. Yeah, people were being so cringe, dude. Back when I was on social media, when that game came out.
Back when I was on social media.
It's one of the nice things about not being on social media. I don't see shit like that anymore. It's crazy. How it just in my everyday life, I don't come across that stuff, not being on social media.
So Zelda and Ganondorf, Noah
Hmm.
and Mio, I think is what her name is. I don't know. Cat lady.
Sure.
And then Sora.
Keyblade, dude. Yeah,
And
come
then
on,
Sora,
man.
because everyone is here.
Yeah. Hell yeah, brother.
It's weird to think that like that many amiibo exist. And I know
Yeah, I
there's
mean,
many
people
more than
love the
that, but
shit out of
one for
Amiibo. Yeah.
every character in
Smash
Smash
character.
Ultimate.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Arcade Racer came out yesterday. Cool if you like arcade racers, I guess.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah. Uh, Another code recollection.
Mm.
This looked like Myst. Did you ever play Myst?
No.
Oh, okay. Old computer game. Um,
Mm.
that I don't know. It's a puzzle game. It sure
Mm-hmm.
exciting that
Sure.
a game that maybe people were really hoping to someday get the sequel to that never came out in America. Here you go. If you were a big another code fan. A Square Enix game that I won't be playing.
Wow.
I know. I know. I've never been really big into the Saga series, and this did not make me want to play it. But I'm sure you're going to buy it.
Yeah, that sounds like me.
Yeah. Saga Emerald Beyond.
Mm-hmm. No. No opinions. No comments. Will not be buying. This one was wild. Unicorn Overlord. That
Ye-
was just the name is wild. The
yes.
trailer was wild. The experience was wild. It was all wild.
So this I probably will be getting.
I fucking knew you would. I fucking knew you
uh
would.
yeah, it kind of checks all the boxes there. So
Mm-hmm. Unicorn Overlord.
right down to stupid name. 'Cause
Terrible
that's
name.
that's a important box.
Mm-hmm.
It's shocking that this isn't a Square game with a name like Unicorn Overlord.
Insane. Bunch of cocaine went into that.
So much. Uh Ayuden Chronicle, another game
Don't
that
care.
you're never gonna play.
Never. Never
Never.
will hear of it again if I'm lucky.
You're gonna hear about it at least one more time. That's that's gonna be in at least one more direct.
Uh,
Uh, Another good party game, WarioWare Move
yeah,
It.
micro games are fun. There was
Yeah,
a lot of like twerking and butt stuff. That was kind of uncomfortable, but
someone did basically shove a Joy-Con up their ass at one point in
yeah,
the
that
trailer.
was
Um,
yeah. You did have to like twerk to make a chicken lay an egg.
yeah.
So
All
okay,
right. Uh,
cool.
they're making a museum.
I would love to check that out. I do want to go to Japan
Well, there's somewhere for you
Uh,
to try
just for
the
that. Just for
lottery
that.
that day to get into because apparently Japan real big on lotteries.
Fucking insane. Okay, cool.
Please give me the opportunity to spend money.
Cool.
Uh, that feels like that wasn't everything.
No, there was more Mario stuff, right? Or was it all
Oh, I think
early
they
and
just
it
did
was
new stuff in that one. So we saw a snippet of Wonder again. Still looks good. Still day one purchase.
fine? Is it a day one purchase? Not for me. Definitely
I
not.
enjoy 2D
Absolutely
Mario.
not. In
I
fact,
think 2D Mario is fun. And
I'm sorry you feel that way.
that you can be sorry. Oh, Contra remake of the original Contra.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. People will enjoy that for sure.
my feeling is never, because my brother once made me watch him play a speed run of it as like a 7-year-old, and I
Mm,
couldn't
I'm
leave the
sorry for
room.
your pain.
So no Contra for me.
I'm sorry for your pain.
That's okay. I'm over it.
Doesn't sound like it.
I'm over it. Uh, that was it for the direct. Uh,
Yeah. That's cool.
it was fine. It existed. I don't get people being mad about it not being for them every time because it's a commercial.
Yeah. Hey man, you don't have to like the video games they're putting out. It's like there's plenty of other video games.
There's so many video games.
Yeah, there's like too many. Like I still want to play Splatoon and I still haven't had any time to play Splatoon. And I have friends that would play Splatoon with me. And I still don't have any time to play Splatoon. I hardly have time to do this. This almost got canceled today because I was like, I don't know if I have time.
Damn, finding out live that it
Yeah.
almost got canceled.
Hey man,
But you're
we
here.
owe it to our viewers to let them know that I was this close to saying fuck y'all.
I mean,
But no, I'm here.
but you're here. Good job. I'm proud of you that you found the time in your crazy life.
Hey man.
So that was that. But something else video gamey happened this week. Pokemon
Yeah, man.
DLC.
This did take up some time for sure. Pokemon
Yeah.
DLC.
Pokemon DLC.
What are your thoughts?
Overall, I liked it.
You've beaten it. You've
Yes.
rolled the to be continued.
I rolled the credit.
Yeah, the credit.
And it was good. It was
Mhm.
fun. I think I would be interested to reload a save and find out when it becomes available and to what extent you can do things throughout the story, because at no point do they really reference you being a champion.
I saw the back from here.
Yo,
Welcome.
What up?
there he is. Welcome.
Just because like I enjoyed that.
Wait, hold on real quick. Pause. Should we introduce AJ? This is AJ
This
with
is
at
AJ.
Watch Redirect.
Watch
Follow him on
Redirect.
socials. Yeah.
They could do that, I guess.
Yeah, that feels appropriate.
But yeah, overall I enjoyed it. AJ, overall impression of the DLC?
It was good. It made me have an epiphany though, like
Okay.
which is really just like it's like marketing for Coca-Cola, where it's not like, oh shit, I know what Coca-Cola is. It's, oh, I kind of want a Coca-Cola because I saw it on the screen. It's like something that in the back of my mind has always been a thing, but I haven't like formulated into why I feel that way and what that feeling is. And that's that Pokemon would be way better if they just did this all the time, seasonally. Like the whole thing with this game is they're like trying to figure out and it was kind of a thing with Sword and Shield too, is they're trying to figure out a reason to make people want to play after they finish the campaign. This is the perfect way to do that, because it just is continually giving them the same value that they came for. And everybody, like universally, that like is the case, because the people that are even in the competitive, they're going to play through it because they want to check out the new Pokemon,
All the new mons. Yep.
Exactly.
The legendaries, especially, they got probably good stats, good abilities.
So
Right.
you want a WoW or a Final Fantasy 14?
Yes, absolutely, 100%. Because I think that like the like potential of Pokemon isn't even what the campaign currently is. It's it's day in the life shit. Is it like that's
Right.
that's the most interesting thing about Pokemon. It's not
It's the world.
God came down and said that he wants it to be all water or all land. I don't give a fuck about that. I just want to be a Pokemon trainer with my friends. I want to go get the badges. I want to catch the cool guys. You know, like I want to enter Pokemon content. I don't give a fuck about none of the RPG high fantasy bullshit.
Yeah.
I just want to be a Pokemon trainer or a doctor or a professor in this world specifically.
It's like, and as soon as I got to like Kitakami, it like really like struck me. Even Pokemon I already have, Kitakami, even Pokemon I already have, I'm like happy to like catch them again, because I'm just like, ooh, new Pokemon. You know,
Pokemon.
it's like, yeah, even if you already have it like in home or whatever. So it's just like,
I mean,
I don't have the number in this game.
Yeah, exactly. It speaks to the giving it longevity, where it's like you could just make, you know, new school trips or whatever, you know, and you could do a lot of different school trips to different areas and check out different regions.
It solves literally every problem that people have with Pokemon. All of them.
Yeah, because
If
It
they
gets
just
you
do
to
one
reintroducing, like, the
fucking
national
video
decks.
game,
Yeah.
yeah, they do one game every year. Give me this. Honestly, the DLC could be $60 in totality.
Oh
Like
yeah.
they could do that. They could still be
Mhm.
like, "Yo, here's the main game. It's $60. Next year we'll be back with DLC for this main game. It will also be $60. Even if
Mhm.
they could even break that up into parts if they wanted to and do it $30 for part one, part two, whatever the fuck. Either way, they get the same amount of money if they really, really, really wanted to, and it would still
Mhm.
be worth it because it would be adding to the game that you already have rather than like rolling a boulder up a mountain where they have to do this balancing act of like how do we release a game every single year and also improve that thing every single year.
Well, yeah,
Mhm.
and we already
Whereas
have like raids, so we already have
yeah,
continued content within, which obviously could be better and different.
Better. They
yeah,
need to improve that. Yeah,
But
obviously.
you're right. Like there's a PvP element. It is already very much primed to be an MMO,
hmm
and yeah, just $60 a year.
Yeah.
Here you go. I think the one thing that would dampen this is there'd be one either.
there wouldn't have to be one.
Well,
They could do
no,
two like they did
no,
with
no, no,
this.
no. I mean, so they would either have to because they'd have to pay for servers.
Uh-huh.
So they'd either have to roll that into NSO, which I think would be the better option.
See, but the thing is, like, I don't even necessarily think it has to be an MMO in that in the most literal sense. Like, I don't need to be able to engage with everybody. I think that union circles is the extent of really
Okay.
what I want.
But we
Maybe
want to be able to do more within them.
yeah, exactly. Like, I don't need
Yeah.
to be able to play with fucking 100 people in one instance. Maybe eight, eight would be cool, but even if it's not eight, four people is fine,
Even then, like if
Um,
there's 8, like you better be doing like 4-on-4 battles. Like
yeah,
you
for
better be
sure.
able
I
to have
agree.
that
I'm just
capability.
saying,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I think the dream has always been for people where it's like, we need an MMO. It's like, do we? We don't really need an
Yeah.
MMO in every sense because
Yeah.
like on the basic level, I don't want the gameplay to be an MMO either. I think WoW controls like shit. But there's like there's content ideas as far as like how it's released in the business model that I do think fits Pokemon perfectly. Um, and that's what like the first thing that comes to mind for me isn't even WoW. It's like Sims. Like I think Sims
Got
is
it.
like a pretty good business model for Pokemon.
It would be good.
But the DLC was good. I mean, all 3 of us have rolled the to be
Yeah.
continued credit. I'm sure there's more to do still in the game. I know there's at least one more thing that I'm looking to do. 2 more things that I know of, at least.
I think I only
Because there
have
was one, I don't know if you guys saw the dialogue
what?
where the couple, they're in love and they're like, "Show me Pokemon that are more in love than us."
Mhm.
Yeah, I did that one. I did that.
You did that one? Okay, I haven't
Yeah.
done that one. I
I
saw
s-
it. I interacted with it, but I haven't done it
It's
yet.
not a whole thing. It's just,
I assume it's
I don't
just
know if you want to know, but
Oh.
you have the Pokemon already.
yeah. I
Oh,
assume if
okay.
you've done the decks, you have the Pokemon. Uh, I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I thought
Mhm.
I don't like that it made me complicit in emotional abuse.
Drama, yeah,
Yeah.
no kidding.
Like I think there should have been
Yeah,
an
the
option.
dialogue options were lacking. Yeah, for sure.
Well, they're always lacking, but like
Yeah.
the consequence isn't usually
A child is literally getting
gaslight
abused emotionally.
and
Yeah.
and cause and do emotional terrorism on a 10-year-old. Like that's not usually
Yeah.
the outcome
The
of
result.
not being able to make a choice.
True.
Whereas in this game, it was like, hey, fuck this kid in
Yeah.
particular. I think it's
that was crazy.
setting up for interesting story in the next DLC. So there is that.
Yeah, no spoilers. No spoilers.
But I do wish they had given me the option to not emotionally
Be
abuse a
complicit.
child.
What do you think of Ogrepon?
It's fine.
I think he's cute. I like him. AJ and I think we both talked about this before. We like him better without the masks.
Yeah, I think the mask make him look hideous, but without the mask,
Yeah.
he looks cute.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah.
I think you would make a great jack-o'-lantern like this year, if you're carving a pumpkin.
Oh, okay.
Do like an ogre pawn. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it would be great. And Halloween's coming up. It's like perfect timing.
Okay. Beanscast pumpkin carving competition.
There you go. I'll get Cash and Knox right on that.
That's crazy that you're gonna make them do that for you.
I let
Make
them
your
do
own,
that.
No, make your own.
They want to carve pumpkins,
make
and
your
I
own
will
jack-o'-lantern.
let them carve pumpkins.
Well, they can carve their own pumpkins and they can enter the competition. But you
This
gotta,
man thinks I'm rich buying 3 pumpkins. That's crazy.
What do you think
That's
pumpkins cost?
Pumpkins are like $7
at
at the
least
grocery
$100.
I know
Yeah.
personally that you have enough money to buy jack-o'-lanterns.
No.
What kind of
You
bougie
give me
ass
so much money.
pumpkin patch?
No. I can't be affording pumpkins because then I might be giving other people
Yeah,
money.
take a month off of the Redirect Patreon and buy Cash and Knox
Get some
pumpkins.
pumpkins.
All right, everyone. We're starting a GoFundMe for Cash and Knox to have pumpkins
Yeah,
this
for
year.
pumpkins. Yeah, and Christmas. Don't forget about that.
And to have a Christmas?
Yeah.
Do they only get a Hanukkah if there's no GoFundMe?
Yeah.
They just get some
Nobody
gelt.
wants that. Gelt, dreidel, a Matchbox car,
But they do get latkes.
and stories. Yeah, but I think Knox likes latkes. Cash, not so much.
Oh, I thought you were going to admit on the air that you're not very good at latkes.
Oh, I've actually never made latkes. My mom always makes latkes.
You never made a latke?
No, I mean I made hash browns. So
Man, am I
Oh
more
my
Similar.
god,
Jewish than
even
you?
I have made latkes.
okay, all right, let's chill. Okay,
I
need
make
to
a great
bully me.
latke.
I believe
But
it.
yeah, also
You of all people can't tell nobody to not bully. Anyway,
That's
what were you
true.
saying?
That's true.
Wait, but Happy New Year, Trev.
You was about to say something. What were you gonna
I was
say?
just gonna say also I'm here, I've been here the whole time.
It's true.
Yep. Welcome, youth.
Thanks.
What were we talking about? Oh, Pokemon.
Latkes. Oh, Pokemon.
But do we have more to say about latkes? They're delicious.
I mean, they're
Everyone should
delicious.
make them.
Yeah, donate to the GoFundMe.
What? I thought the GoFundMe was for jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah, well, now they're not getting latkes either. Now that I know how favorable people's
Damn.
feel towards latkes.
Insane.
I got leverage, baby. But yeah, the DLC I think was fun.
Yeah,
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah.
The only problem I have with the DLC is the only problem I have with, well, not the only problem, but the main problem I have with how Pokemon exists now. It's like the most fun part about playing Pokemon is finite. And it doesn't have to be. So it's like while I'm playing the DLC, I'm like, damn, yeah, playing this game is fun when you have a reason to play it.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
there's just not enough of a reason to play it.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I think DLC's it's better than Crown Tundra or Isle of Armor were.
I don't think it's better than Crown Tundra. I think you're smoking rocks.
I think Crown
To
Tundra
say it's
has-
better than
Crown
has-
Tundra gives us the Dynamax
Okay.
raids. That's
Exactly.
crazy.
outside of
exactly.
Dynamax
Yeah.
raids, outside of
Sure, just the story. Just the story.
That
but
alone is
even the,
worth
like,
the cost
the
of a mission, is what I'm
But the
saying.
the
Even the
Dynamax
fetch
raids,
quests
yeah,
of,
100%.
of all the legendaries in
All the
it are
Reggies,
boring.
yeah,
Yeah,
They're not
yeah, yeah.
good. They're
That's
not
true.
done
Totally.
well.
I agree.
totally.
I
But
agree.
just the Dynamax raids
Okay.
is worth the entire. Was it $40?
Right.
Aside from Dynamax,
Yeah,
I
100%.
don't have no idea.
I've probably done
There's
400
no
hours
removing
into
it.
Dynamax
That's the whole
raids.
reason why
you know?
Trev even bought the DLC in the first
Literally.
place. And
Literally.
I would have did the same thing. Like Dynamax Adventures is literally the whole reason to buy that shit.
Yeah, they-
Now,
yes.
in the crazy world that we exist in, if it didn't have Dynamax Adventures, then sure, yeah, this part is better
Yeah.
than both of those parts.
Uh,
But we can't ignore Dynamax Adventures. That's
it's
OD.
gonna be so sad if they don't
I
have
didn't like the
something
fetch
basically
quest.
the same.
I didn't like the fetch quests either. I am with you.
Yeah, they're boring.
And
Hey,
Keone
we're
was
giving you
annoying as
opportunity.
fuck. Yeah.
All right,
am
there we go.
back.
There we go.
Just did an internet speed test. I was like, no, what's going on?
No, it's me.
I checked
I
if I was
died.
connected to the
It's
internet.
Me too. Okay. Welcome back.
Welcome back. I died.
That's
Uh,
hilarious.
Welcome back.
We're done talking about Pokemon. We're done talking about video games.
Well, I just want real quick.
Oh,
I do want to say, just in summation, I do agree like wholeheartedly with AJ, and I think you do too. I would love a bunch of like additional DLCs where we could end up getting maybe like the national decks and stuff in one fucking game over the course of maybe a couple years. You put that out.
I don't need to see
Yeah, like
a new mainline game for like 2-3 years if they just keep giving me DLC.
Exactly.
Yeah, like I tweeted. Well, you guys aren't on Twitter anymore.
Yeah, what's that?
But I tweeted I would trade exactly. I would trade in a heartbeat every single Pokemon game that we get per generation for one that gets DLC regularly throughout the entire generation.
I'm so on board with that. That's such a good solution to all the problems that people have. Well, except for the actual gameplay being dog shit. But like the general
that's true. But that could also solve that problem. Because
True.
I want them to spend. I want this.
They have the time.
GTA is another perfect example that I've been saying for years. Spend 6, 7, 8, 10 fucking years on making this game if you have to. Make one of them per generation.
Oh yeah,
like it will be worth it.
Oh yeah,
for everybody involved.
All right, thank you. I just wanted to state I do emphatically agree with that opinion because I think it's a huge W.
Now we move on to the mess that is our country.
Yeah, well, this shit's just funny to me.
This is hilarious.
Honest. Well, actually, the next two things are both
they're both
funny to me.
So
yeah,
Lauren Boebert was escorted out of showing of Beetlejuice.
LoBo, our girl
in Denver.
LoBo
after causing a disturbance.
Mm-hmm.
What made that disturbance?
Musical. It was a live musical.
Yeah, live musical.
Mm-hmm.
The venue officials have accused her of recording, singing, and vaping during the performance.
W. I hope it was weed. What a
Oh my God. No, it was nicotine, and there was a pregnant woman behind her who asked her to stop vaping because, she's pregnant. Yeah. And Lauren Boebert refused.
It's crazy to have to be like, I'm pregnant. Can you please not vape in this confined space? Like, that's insane.
She denied the vaping, but then the venue was like, oh, but we have proof. And they had footage, or someone had footage of her vaping.
Oh my God.
So,
Such
LoBo.
a piece of shit. She's such a piece of shit. Do you like that she was escorted out? It sounds like they had to call the cops. That's great. Love that. Fuck her.
Yeah, and to her dissolving marriage.
W.
Moving on to another.
This shit is
wild,
unbelievably funny.
Hunter Biden is indicted on federal firearm purchasing charges after his plea deal fell through.
This sounds like so crazy, and then you hear it's because he checked a box that says he wasn't a drug addict when he bought the gun.
Yeah.
Like, that's what he's being indicted on.
It is.
That's crazy.
Absolutely
I'm
wild
just saying
that it's happening.
I don't think he. Yeah. Because he's a sitting president's son, Well,
even just like he's a rich guy's son and he is a rich guy.
Sure.
Like, those are also things that would normally make this not happen. It is very much we're going after your son because we can't go after you. But also, the law exists.
But that's my thing is like, I'm not saying he's innocent, and he definitely should be charged, I think. But I also think that, like, you think none of these motherfuckers were on drugs when they bought guns?
You think that
like, are you serious?
The cops aren't on drugs?
Yeah, like, charge them all.
Yeah.
What's the proof? Like, let's get to looking for all the proof.
No,
fuck that.
To be fair, it's to be abused for me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It pisses me off so much. The part that's extra hilarious to me is like because this is obviously Republicans going after Hunter Biden because he's Joe Biden's son, right? So Republicans going after somebody's son is insane. when you look at like the last dude's kids.
Oh yeah.
Like, and the amount of fervor
the-
that was
but the-
kicked up
but the
whenever
Fully
problem
somebody
with
selling
mentioned
that-
state
them.
secrets to the Saudis.
Yes.
The
Yes.
problem with that is like what they're trying to attack is that like Hunter Biden is like counter to the like image that they want Joe Biden to say that he is, when really he's
Mhm.
just left Twix, right Twix, but they're like he's supposed to be Lady Teresa, and look at his son. He's barely
really
not that.
I think that this is going to be very underwhelming if this is what they get to stick, because they're hyping up shit like, you know, he's sex trafficking, fucking
Mhm.
Jeffrey Epstein level kind of shit. And so,
Yeah,
if
but that's
all
what they
can get
always
to
do.
Yeah, totally. But they're actually getting something out of it this time. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Because like,
Yeah.
it's always like they can be like, oh, it's just bullshit. Everything's rigged. But it's like now they're getting something, and it's like it's just this. Man, I would be so mad. I guess maybe I'm just not crazy. Maybe I'm thinking too rationally. I don't know.
saw
And I
someone
don't know.
say that Hunter Biden is our generation's Princess Di. And
That's crazy. That's fucking
That
crazy.
is so incredibly offensive.
And I was like, that's awful, but I understand that you meant like the one that we deserve.
That's crazy. What do you put?
Because of the like people targeting. But
I will
most,
say
this guy is a rich guy who has paid for something that should be legal anyway.
Yeah, from
Not
what I've seen
firearms.
with Hunter Biden, the drugs and the sex, like
Yeah.
from what I've seen, everyone in the room very much appears to be of legal consenting age. And so, you know, I just don't care at that point. As long as they're, you know, nobody's like being sex trafficked, you know, as long as everyone is a consenting adult, I just really don't give a fuck about any of this shit.
Yeah. If it turns
When
out
it comes
that
to
this
like
man,
sex and drugs, you know.
if it turns out that this man is like some notorious crime lord who is sex trafficking people, yeah, put him away.
The
But-
thing is, I fully believe he's tried to be like, oh, I can sell you influence. But like, Hunter is not the son that Joe loves. Bo was the son that Joe loves. And Bo died. And Hunter knows that. So like, that's probably part of why Hunter does drugs. I mean,
Yeah.
God.
it's like an open
Probably.
thing. Like,
Yeah, no,
Bo was being groomed. Like, he was the one. So I'm just saying, like, I'm sure Hunter knows he's the son that should have died, is how his dad feels. And Bo should have
Damn,
lived.
rich people's survivor guilt is OD.
But like, what else does he have, bro?
OD.
He needs something, you know?
It's OD.
But I think that he's probably has tried to be like, oh, I could sell you influence, but like, you can't sell shit to anybody. Like,
no.
Joe's not buying any of that shit. Like, you know, get the fuck out of here, man.
Well, much like Republicans are trying to shut down Hunter Biden, they're also
There we
trying to
go.
shut down our government.
W.
That's my cue.
Transition.
That is your
That's your cue. Youth heard on all
Okay.
socials.
So I can give you guys like a little
Mhm.
primer about appropriations. I don't know how detailed you want me to get.
I think
Like,
surface
do you want me to
level-
explain how the process works?
I think like surface level, maybe like high school civ explanation.
Mm.
And if we have more
Okay.
questions, we can ask follow-ups.
Okay. So I'm going to try to boil it down as much as possible. Basically, in February, the president submits a budget request to Congress for how the administration would like to spend roughly a quarter of the annual federal budget, basically all discretionary spending. And then the House and the Senate each adopt their own budget resolutions, and then the appropriations committees, also I'm going to say appropes during
That's
this,
fine.
work on a package of 12 bills each. And ideally, the appropes committees in each chamber would pass versions of the bills, which would then be voted on by the full chambers. then the lawmakers would like reconcile the differences between the bills. And in reality, committees often don't pass all the bills, and a lot of the time the 12 bills get packaged into one massive what's called an omnibus spending measure, which a lot of people don't like because it's like less transparent and there's less opportunity for debating specifics. So currently, not a lot is getting done. Before the Senate broke for August recess, their Appropriations Committee approved 12 bills that fund discretionary spending, so they're doing pretty well. It's been very bipartisan. There's been a lot of patting on the back. The House hasn't done shit. The House, there's basically the like ultra right-wing conservatives in the House are trying, they've put what's called like a poison pill into these bills, as well as setting spending levels was negotiated. And what a poison pill is provisions that are attached to a larger bill by one party that's a deal breaker for the other party. This year, in this case, a lot of anti-LGBTQIA plus bills, a lot of anti-welfare, a lot of anti-everything, a lot of anti-abortion. I think 8 of the 12 House bills contain measures that aim to restrict access to abortion, gender-affirming care, or both.
On a nationwide level?
Yes, on a federal. This is all federal. So the next kind of steps are that congressional leaders will aim to pass a continuing resolution to keep the government open at current funding levels. And it's like worth noting that Congress has had to use one or more continuing, basically Congress has passed appropriations with using a continuing resolution every single year since 1997. So that's 26. 1997 was the last time they didn't use a CR. So for 26 years, they have used continuing resolutions. And if Congress doesn't pass appropriations by September 30th, a federal shutdown will be triggered. And that means that all federal agencies must stop all, quote, non-essential functions until the money is appropriated for the next fiscal year. So to give you an idea of what sort of implications that could be, it's everything from like disruptions, including like delays in processing applications for passports, small business loans, government benefits like SNAP, which so many people rely on. Visitor centers and bathrooms at national parks would be closed. There would be less food safety inspections and a bunch of other like inconveniences, to put it really mildly. Yeah.
Well, and then on the fiscal side,
I also want to point out one more thing, which is that most government employees, or like federal government employees, won't receive any payment for the duration of the shutdown, but members of Congress will still get paid.
And then
the federal employees are still expected to work in some cases.
In some cases, like Hill staffers, for example, are expected to work but won't get paid until after it's over.
I mean, didn't this happen with the TSA agents during the last government shutdown? They were expected to show up to work, but they were not getting paid.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's the primer.
So yeah, the big thing about it is when the government shuts down, services go away, but we still pay for a lot of those services that aren't happening eventually. Like, even if not just my tax dollars, but the government's still going to pay for a lot of these things eventually anyway. They're just not happening, which sucks.
Yep.
This is one of those things that just always feels like, here we go again, because I guess, like you said, we haven't passed a budget without this for 26 years.
But important note too, it does feel like there are factions of the Republican Party that are actively that's their goal. They want to shut the government down.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
That seemed like they just launched an impeachment into Joe Biden, an impeachment inquiry into Joe Biden. And it's like, is this really? And Joe Biden even straight up said, I think that these assholes launched this investigation because they want to shut the government down. Now, he didn't say assholes, but he
He
should have.
should have.
He should have.
He should
And I wouldn't have been surprised if he did, to be honest.
He might have. He might have. He's crazy and old enough that he might have slipped it out.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah. None of their claims are based in any sort of evidence or fact whatsoever
well.
About the
for
impeachment.
impeachment. Yeah.
Right. It's all based on Hunter Biden shit. Again, it's all
I was
based
just gonna
around
say that
Hunter
could be
Biden shit.
The Republican.
So
It's
dumb.
it's not only that. There's a list of 7 claims that they're making, all of which are completely just like made up. Do you want me to tell you what some of those
The
are?
only ones that I saw were relating around Hunter Biden. So yeah, what else are they talking about then?
Yeah, most of them are Hunter Biden, but also that the Biden administration is quote unquote stonewalling congressional investigations, and that Joe Biden and the White House have changed their story on the president's alleged involvement with. So yeah, I guess it is all Hunter Biden shit, but just different flavors of it.
Yeah,
Like
different flavors.
they bring Ukraine into it. They bring bribery schemes into it. They bring
selling influence,
global business ventures into it. It's like all these different angles that they're trying to hit the situation with, and it none of it is based in fact.
No.
How much of what they do is, though?
True.
Negative something percent.
It is
Hey,
the Republican log line at this point. We don't do anything based in fact.
Yeah.
Mitt isn't seeking re-election. How do we feel about that?
Until I read more about it, I assumed it was to set himself up as a Hail Mary Republican presidential
candidate.
Yeah. But the more I have read, the more I'm like, oh, this man's just like, fuck this shit.
Yeah, he's done. He's done.
Fuck off. He's paying.
But
he's paying like $2 million a year in private security for his family because he's afraid this man has said very little up to this point that is critical of how Republicans have acted. But it is enough that he is afraid that crazy people are going to come kill his kids.
Because the rest of them are with the debates where they're walking this tightrope of I gotta debate against Trump, but also praise him because that's the people that I'm trying to promote myself to.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying it's illogical.
He's still a Republican. He's still part of the Republican Party.
But that's the thing. So he's expected to go full on the Trump thing, and in his mind, he's like, well, in his mind, he wouldn't say exactly what I'm going to say, but he's like, yeah, I suck, but I don't suck as bad as he does,
Yeah, right.
And he's like, man, I remember when we used to just be able to suck a respectable amount, and Trump takes it too far.
Right. That's what I was like. That's the thing. There's gonna be a faction of people that are like, man, guys like Mitt Romney, man. People who really used to get. It's like, no, fuck Mitt Romney too.
Oh, yeah.
He's not actually one of the good ones.
It's the same thing what happened and is happening with Biden, where it's we'll finally have some normalcy back. It's no, he fucking sucks too.
Yeah, fuck Joe Biden.
I
say it loud, say it proud.
I was thinking it reminds me a lot of George Bush, people looking back at George, looking at this old man who paints and
this
being like,
war criminal,
this war criminal.
Yeah,
It's
being like,
because-
man, we really didn't appreciate him enough. And it's like, bro, what?
Yeah, what the fuck?
The Overton window has like shifted so far right that
Mhm.
we look at horrible conservatives and we're like, wow, they're kind of reasonable. Like
John
Mitt
McCain?
Romney or John McCain or Bush or any of those, like we look at them and we think, oh, they're not so bad
They
because
weren't actually so bad.
Or the fact
the
that
people
we look
who
at,
are in Congress right now, or president of the fucking United States, are so right wing.
yeah,
Yes.
They're
Oh my God,
cartoon
it's crazy.
supervillains.
the fact that we look at Obama and we go, wow, that was a liberal president.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yo,
Not
Obama,
at
the
all.
guy who deported like more people than anybody and like used drones very, very casually. Like,
Just
Jesus,
Love a
fucking
drone
Christ.
strike. Loved it.
It's because to be the president, you have to be fucking terrible. Like you do.
I mean, yeah, you're commander in chief
Yeah.
by definition.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh, Matt just rated.
Welcome.
Yo.
Welcome. Talking
I
about war crimes.
the war crimes.
As we do here.
Every U.S. president ever, Alex. Who is every U.S. president ever? Alex Trebek.
I was
mix
like-
I was
up
like-
his name.
That's
I was
a
like,
it was
huge
an
an
Alex
accomplishment.
RG
Trebek
thing?
thing. It was a Jeopardy joke. It was a Jeopardy joke.
R.I.P. Alex Trebek.
R.I.P. R.I.P.
But back to the government shutdown.
Mm-hmm. Well, and this does interact because they are choosing to launch an impeachment inquiry rather than try to work through this. But they almost certainly won't have time at this point to get through a reconciliation deal.
No, we're like,
Absolutely not.
I'm like 99. I would, if I had to bet money, I would bet on a shutdown, which is like fucked up, but it's true.
Right. You probably can, honestly. You should check.
You can, but I won't.
I would like to know someday how much of what Kevin McCarthy is doing is because Kevin McCarthy is a shit stain, because he is. He's a terrible person.
Yeah, he's scared though.
But he is so afraid because he let
He's
himself
scared.
be elected
Yeah.
with the idea that one person can call for him to be gone.
Yeah.
Like, so ridiculous. But yeah, they're impeaching Joe Biden in a way that the Trump Department of Justice determined was not legal because they didn't bring it to the floor. They just decided we're going to impeach him. But that's fine.
Since when do they care about legality?
I know, but
Fact.
I'm still going to point out the hypocrisy when I can point out the hypocrisy,
Yeah.
which is frequent.
The law doesn't apply to them. It only applies to like people of color and poor people.
And poor people, yeah.
And anyone who supports abortion.
Yeah. I just think it's funny because I think it's in the WAPO article. They even basically say like Kevin McCarthy kind of stuck now too, because if he eventually like tries to even pass this shit,
he's
like,
screwed.
his
He's
party
gone.
is gonna be like, yo, fuck you, bro.
He has to decide. Someone said this earlier today, when I was in DC. It's been a fucking crazy day. Someone said
That's right,
he
we got
has
an
to
insider.
choose. Yeah. I say that with shame. How else do you think I know all this shit? It's not for fun. That he has to choose between personal power and his country, basically.
Oh,
He's gonna choose
absolutely.
personal power. Spoiler alert.
Because personal
Spoiler
power comes with
alert.
money.
That's the whole job, man. His whole
Yeah.
job is being like, you know what? I want power. That's what I'm here for.
I just
Did Mitch McConnell say yet if he's not rerunning or seeking re-election?
I thought
He has to consult with the ghouls that
I
are
thought he was.
Yeah.
swarming around in the back of the room.
I'm pretty sure he is going for re-election.
That's what I'm saying. You know,
I mean,
like who
Nancy
cares about
Pelosi
country?
is.
Yeah, right.
Of course she
and
is.
Fuck Nancy Pelosi, but like, bro, Mitch
She don't,
McConnell
she don't see the ghouls though, so
literally sees the ghouls in the room.
Mitch
I think Nancy Pelosi sees the ghouls.
Nancy Pelosi.
she sees his ghouls, sees the ghouls, but she's just not scared of him like he is.
She's not scared of him. You don't have the same reaction.
A white lady who represents San Francisco, which
Look, yo, it's fuck
It's
Nancy
not that
Pelosi all day,
demographic.
every day. I'm 100%. I'm with that. It's fuck Nancy Pelosi. It's fuck all of them. I'm just saying, Mitch McConnell is on death's door, literally. And this man is going to run.
He
for
went in
re-election.
already and then came out and was he's
came
trying to
out.
warn us all. He's trying to warn us all. The door is
Last
unhinged and we're gonna fall in.
When I worked on the Hill last time, my office was like neighbors with his personal residence, and so I would see him from time to time, and he is like just even more repulsive in person.
Yeah, I
You
remember.
should straight up.
I remember
should-
talking
you
to
should-
you about that.
Yeah.
You should.
I'm-
You should hide behind a door and just hit him with a boo. I bet that's enough to get the job done.
I would be arrested on the spot. He's got secret
That's
service
crazy.
everywhere.
That's crazy for a Halloween
Secret-
prank. That's crazy.
Just tell him a knock knock
Service
joke.
everywhere.
No,
That's
Yeah,
higher
just
than
tell
plain
him
sight.
not joke. That'll do it.
So McConnell's current term runs through 26. He's not up for election in 24.
Okay.
And all they've said on the matter so far is that he plans to finish his term.
Well, why wouldn't
In
he
life.
say I'm not running for real in life?
Because if he's not running for re-election, he stops getting all that NRA money.
Oh God.
The moment this man
Oh
says,
my God.
I will not be seeking another term, his bribery
True.
money.
His funding dries up.
Yo,
His
maybe
sugar
that's what it
daddy-
is.
Yeah,
Maybe
his
that's
sugar
what it
daddy
is.
Turns away.
The Grim Reaper is sitting there waiting for him to end his term. So that it's
waiting.
over for him. It's over for him the minute
You're
he's
not
done.
protected anymore.
But yes.
You think the NRA guy can pull strings with the Grim Reaper? They're like, no, he's protected. He's one of ours. You hold off.
Nah.
I mean, they have given the Grim Reaper a lot to work with, so
It's true, yeah. He's on their side.
they've
You
kept
know,
him in
that's a
business.
fact. Keep that man busy.
Ultimately, he's on their side, but he doesn't discriminate. He's like, hey, if I can get a soul, I'm gonna get this soul. Like, Mitch
What
McConnell
soul?
done a lot for me,
What
but
soul?
true,
But not enough.
Fair enough.
That's true. Sold that shit a long time ago. Maybe that's it. He knows he's on a clock. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
so
saying?
that's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
That's the exchange. That's why the Grim Reaper
Mhm.
is like, as soon as you are out of office, the deal is it's
done.
It's due. It's due.
He's just sitting back there with an app.
Time to
He's got
pay
the
up.
15 Pro. You know, he's got the 15 Pro Max, the Grim Reaper. He's sitting
Yeah.
back there with the stopwatch on that big ass screen, just counting down. He's counting down, Mitch. You see that shit? It's going to hit 0.
You got the wrap it up button.
No, I get dead. But and the big ass cane to pull
Yeah.
him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mhm.
The sight.
Mhm.
He's talking about.
He's talking about like vaudeville. Because Trev's old.
Sure he is.
Mhm. Talking about wrapping them up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Wrap them up,
Wrap
pull
it
them
up,
off.
bud.
The vaudeville days have been over
Mhm.
for many years, Trev. It's okay. It's okay. We'll get you your,
Not for
your
some of us.
butterscotch
Not for
pudding
some
later.
of us. Some of us remember it like it was yesterday.
Butterscotch pudding. I thought he was a tapioca guy.
No, I don't like tapioca. I don't fuck with boba. But the thing is,
Nah, you fuck.
Crazy.
I'm older than Mitch McConnell. That's what's crazy about
True.
it.
That's true.
When we
You
were
know.
talking about the continuing resolution, I was debating whether or not I should point out that
Not in my lifetime.
I am younger. Yeah, exactly. we haven't like successfully done a props in my entire lifetime.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
what you said. 97.
That's a
I was
functional
like, oh,
government.
that's when my little sister was born. So
Mhm. Yep.
it is at this point. It is a function. Like it's no longer. This is expected. This is normal practice.
Yeah, so
For our
much is just like, and that's what's so fucking annoying when they're like, oh, we can't change the way we do it. It's like, we change this shit all the time. We only do it the way we do it now because we started it doing that way because nobody can agree on anything. Like, I fucking hate everything, man.
I think
Honestly-
whenever somebody that is like an authority in an industry says like we can't change it,
Mhm.
that's just them being like, I would keep my job, man.
this
I
benefits
benefit
me,
from the
bro.
current
This
structure.
keeps me here. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's all it is. I benefit from the current structure, and I may benefit less in a new, better, even just different structure.
Right. Who's to say that I'll still be here if this is different?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hey man, that's why people are
In
still
fact,
fighting for
I probably
coal.
won't.
Yeah.
Mhm.
100%. And I mean, they're pretty transparent about that fact.
Oh yeah,
Like,
they are open.
they cry about the death of the Republican Party all the time. Which is insane because they're like, yo, if we actually let people decide what they want, we wouldn't exist anymore. And that's a problem somehow.
And that's a problem.
Like,
yeah, that's why they want to raise the voting age to 25.
insane.
That's crazy. They also talked about instituting a civics test, which, like, I assure you, most of these people couldn't actually pass.
Well, the
So.
civics test I thought was to bypass waiting until you were 25. It was you can wait, or you could take this civics test.
But
or you
why?
could serve in the military.
What sense does
I
that
think
make?
serve in the
Are you-
military
Or you
was
could
also
serve
one.
in the military. Oh
I
my
think
Yeah,
serving in
god.
the
that
military
actually-
was also one.
Recruiting numbers are down. That sounds right.
Yeah,
That sounds right.
I fully
I know-
believe that Vivek did not come up with his idea himself. That this is like
This is a think
Republican
tank
high
situation.
up. Like
yeah.
they were like, we need someone insane to say this, so eventually we can start putting it in the party platform.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's my crazy conspiracy theory.
I don't think it's much of a
I
conspiracy
don't think it's
theory.
that crazy.
Government or the right wing think tanks come up with most of this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost all of it. They're the ones who started floating the bathroom bills, you know, and then when that backfired, they did polling and found that trans athletes were an easier, better issue for them because it was easier to target fairness. Even though like none of these people cared about women's sports or whatever before, you know, now all of a sudden it's like it's the biggest fucking issue for some of these people.
Yeah, because if you make it about fairness or justice or whatever, then like you reach a wider audience. There's more people who say,
Mhm.
well, you know, I want things to be fair, so
Mhm.
and they get
It's
behind it
100%.
even if they're not like I've
Informed.
heard people who are not, you wouldn't know that they were necessarily anti-trans, like they're not like the same as the people who are openly like bigoted, but then you bring up the question of women's sports and all of a sudden they say, well, you know, I mean it is a little unfair. And that's how they reach a wider audience.
Holding the feeling in your heart that is truly boils down to, well, women are inferior, is wild
Yep.
to me. Wild.
Well,
Also, when you talk about fairness in sports, if I'm gonna come at this from a big hipster angle. If they drug tested everyone in the Tour de France, you know who number one would probably be every year? The guy who's currently in 40.
What was when the one of the like the Lance Armstrong thing? That's one
Yeah.
of the things they don't talk about is they did go back and dope test and everybody pretty much
Yeah.
was guilty. Yeah. The other thing is that's really important to keep in mind in all this is any sort of interaction in that conversation really is a justification of a straw man because there isn't some rampant problem of, first of all, what they're saying, which is men who are unsuccessful athletes becoming women so they can dominate a sport. That doesn't happen, obviously. But even then, you know, the trans athletes that are participating in women's sports don't, you know, they're not like generally dominant athletes. Like they do okay in a lot of cases. They might have some good showings, but like it's
average,
it's a
like,
non-issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
It's
whole
not like
school-
sports are being dominated by
No.
trans
Yeah.
women.
Because the people
No,
that they were trying to use to justify it, they then ran the data on it, and they relatively underperformed. And then it was like, oh
Literally.
fuck, fuck,
Yeah.
we got to pull this back before this argument backfires on us.
It's
Stop
it's
showing
the
the
same
math.
way. It's the same way that I approach they just shouldn't be doing surgery on kids discussion because it doesn't really exist.
Mhm.
Like
Doctors are not.
maybe one or two kids, but like it doesn't really exist.
And also, no, I'm sorry. I have to point out, like, doctors are performing
Right.
surgeries
Gender-affirming
on
surgeries.
all the time.
But it's not
But
gender
it's the other
affirming
way.
because they're not consulting the children with what they want. Intersex children who
sure.
like
sure,
when
sure.
they're born, doctors and parents will decide to perform surgery on the baby so that they decide. They'll say like, okay, so should we do this or that? And they just make the decision for what the sex of the child is supposed to be or supposed to look like, not even be, because they're intersex. And they're sticking the child with that sex for the rest of their life.
They're making that decision.
And a lot of times in cases like that kid has to be on hormones for the rest of their life because they did something that got rid of some type of hormone being produced in their body that their body needs.
Yep.
So these kids still end up on hormones.
Yep.
Because of what was done to them without their consent.
Drives me crazy.
Where I thought you were going with that, youth, is that the actual gender affirming care that happens with minors is often like the other way, where it's cis heterosexual people getting like breast augmentation or something like that are like 16 years old. And it's like, well, they're actually getting breast implants. They're not getting, their breast cut off or whatever. That's way more common, which is crazy. And people who are fighting against, hormones or the boogeyman of trans, surgery is never talking about, gender affirming care the other way, which again is actually more common.
Gender affirming care is always okay when men want to combat male pattern
baldness or use Viagra.
Viagra.
Yeah.
Like
or even what are all the dudes? All the fucking dudes, man. HGH,
yes.
Right? Like Joe Rogan and all the dudes. It's testosterone. All of them are on HGH. All of them are doing steroids. That's gender affirming care, my guy. Like, I don't know.
But
what
like
to tell you.
a trans man wants to access testosterone and
unacceptable. How dare?
Unacceptable.
Unacceptable on every level. Disgusting.
Yeah.
Super nice.
That's why I approach all those discussions the same way, because they're all fake. It's like you actually don't know what the fuck you're talking about and you're full of shit. So
they're
not
just really
gonna
good
engage
at
you.
making a boogeyman because they hold these like super bigoted opinions and they throw them out there, and everybody that has some version of that opinion is going to latch onto it, even if they're not on the most extreme side of it. Like that's why like the whole thing about like pause culture, like that's why that's dangerous, because it's slippery slope. It's like if you're saying that because of this, you'd also be the people getting tricked by, well, did you hear in that one Sports Illustrated that this trans person won? Like it's
Exactly.
just, that Venn diagram is very close to being a circle.
And everything's gotten so combative these days too, where it's almost like if you start making those kind of jokes, you're forced to go all in on it,
right?
Because if somebody calls you out, you're gonna double down, and it's like, oh well, I was just making a joke. Oh well, those jokes aren't funny. Blah blah. It's a spiral, and it's just so shitty. It's so shitty. But like it is the reality that we live in, and it's important to remember that, like, hey man, trans people do exist. I saw somebody say the other day, it was so funny. It was like, so you really think like all trans people are the product of grooming, or just like maybe your kids? Like, I don't understand, because like at what point do you think the first trans person like existed? Like, how do you think it happened if you think trans people only exist because of grooming? Like, it was just such a funny way to think of it.
Well, it's clearly just the devil. That's what it is.
Devil.
Yeah.
The devil inside somebody. Got a hold of him.
He got really bored making boys gay, and so he moved on.
Got a one up.
I thought he moved on to the frogs.
What?
Making frogs making gay people gay.
Yeah. Oh, I thought the frogs were becoming gay.
Well, I think wait. Oh no.
No, he said making the frogs gay.
Okay, I have a few pieces of good news.
No way.
Auto workers are on strike. I feel like that's good news.
W.
Like
Is
Do
it
it.
I
official?
also feel like that's good news.
Yes.
Yeah. the strike started
Everybody
today.
go on strike. This is all made up.
It's all fake. But you
there's-
know who it's not fake for is the billionaires. That's why they get so mad. Because it costs them real money now.
No, but that's the thing. They lose it if we realize it's all made up.
That's what I'm saying. When
Yeah.
when everyone strikes, it costs them real money.
Exactly.
So that's why they get so mad. So fuck them.
projections
Fuck
for
them.
the WGA and SAG after strikes are that they have cost more money than it would have been to just pay these people what they're asking.
Yep.
That's how it goes.
Fuck Bill Maher.
Also
It's the
fuck Drew
principle of the
Barrymore.
thing.
Also, fuck Drew Barrymore.
Fuck Drew Barrymore.
Wait, really?
They-
What did
They
you?
both crossed the
Oh.
picket
Drew
line.
Barrymore's
Both of
show
them.
is a WGA show. Their
No.
WGA writers work for Drew Barrymore, and Drew Barrymore has started up her show and
Mhm.
is making it
Bill
sound
Maher
like
too.
those writers need to
That-
come back to work.
That makes me
Mhm.
so sad.
Yep.
I know. I at least thought Drew Barrymore was cool.
multiple people have pointed out to Drew
I
Barrymore
guess
that, like,
not.
that's shitty.
Hmm.
I mean, it's not like she doesn't know.
Yeah, I assume we'll get
Yeah.
some justification in the coming days of like, well, I pay my writers the amount that would be appropriate for the guild and yada yada yada.
She should say what she thinks, which is if they wanted to live, they should get a real job.
If
That's
they
what she
wanted to
should say.
live, they should be born into a dynasty of Hollywood people like she was.
That's true.
And
That's a better idea.
work real hard as a 4-year-old to get cast in a movie
Mhm.
and then have roles come to you for the rest of your life.
Mhm. Mhm.
Uh,
I will say
Nah,
Drew Barrymore
man.
does surprise me.
Worked long days on those
Drew
sets
Barrymore-
as
okay.
a 4-year-old.
I said this to Red, and I fully believe it. I don't think that this is an original thought in Drew Barrymore's head. I think someone, because she had said like her show brings happiness to people and is like the light of people's days, so she thinks she should really bring it back for the people. And I think that a producer said that to her, like
And
just
she believes it.
just like full on sold her on that.
So you think she's dumb? You think she's stupid?
I think she's a very, very
She's greedy and maybe a little dumb.
yeah.
Yeah, she's definitely greedy. I don't think it's that innocent. And like, it's to be clear, it's been fuck Bill Maher for years. Like
Well, yeah,
that guy's
Bill-
a piece
Yeah.
of shit.
Always.
that's no
For so
surprise.
many reasons.
Yeah, for so many reasons.
Die in a
Like
hole.
He's
he's a
so
bigot.
Islamophobic.
Yeah, he's a bigot, 100%. Like he's a piece of shit human being. But Drew Barrymore does surprise me.
Yeah, shocked, but that's fine. You can be dead to me. That's I'm good with it. Moving on.
All right, yeah, no, it's fuck Drew Barrymore now.
Starting next week, Wisconsin.
Next week?
Planned Parenthood is opening back up for abortions.
Wisconsin?
In Wisconsin, in Madison, Milwaukee.
Giving out cheese?
Because a judge ruled that our very archaic law that is on the books only applies to forced abortion. It's still on the books, but it puts them in a gray area. So that's good
Forced
for women's
abortion,
healthcare.
that thing that almost never happens.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably not true, but
Well,
probably
no,
in very shitty, terrible
Forced
circumstances.
sterilization
is where it's
happens a lot in
happening.
our country, but that's a different topic. So that's good news. Bad news is that they're trying to impeach our justice, who hasn't done anything yet, because she holds opinions that are more liberal leaning,
contrary to theirs.
and they know that maps will get drawn maybe a little more fairly.
Yeah, gerrymandering is out. Love that.
Out is a stretch, but a little less would be nice, since I think most people cite it as the most gerrymandered state, which is wild to think when like Georgia exists.
Exists, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Gerrymandering is the worst Splatoon sequel.
LOL. All right, Alec, you have any final thoughts?
I don't. I have no more thoughts. I have
Hey, man.
none thought.
Fuck the government, dude. Fuck politicians, bro. Fuck Mitch McConnell, especially.
Yes.
Especially.
Thank you, youth, for coming on and giving us all a civics lesson.
Yeah.
Greatly
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
No problem.
Thank you, AJ, for jumping on and being the secret third host as always.
So far 3 for 3.
It's 3 for 3.
It's
We
three-
honestly
Hey,
just
I don't
need to
have-
coordinate and set your camera up.
Friday works, and I don't have my own podcast no more, so it's fine.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well,
We need to
I kind of have my own podcast a little bit seasonally.
We just need to
make
coordinate
sure-
and know, so we have it set up. We just need.
I mean, it is set up like the
Yeah.
the scene exists. He'd be right in the middle.
Yeah. We just need to prepare so he's prepared, so he
Yes.
knows he's getting camera ready.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you everyone for tuning in. To stay up to date on all things Beanscast, you can join the Discord at tinyurl.com/Beanscast. Archive of the live show goes up on Saturday morning at YouTube, so follow us there. Thanks, everybody. Goodbye.
Reading the intro is still cringe. It's still cringe to read the outro.
I'm sorry, I'm still reading the outro. I'll memorize it one day. Right
You
now,
just
I'm
got
a
to
little-
clip. You got to clip AJ doing it, and we'll just play that. We just got to have that
Listen.
looped.
Right now, I'm a little too tipsy to have it memorized. So
You had one beer. That's crazy.
No,
You're
this was
tipsy. That's
two.
the best time
This was
to
two.
just rip it. You just gotta fucking let it
for
rip.
Are you
All you
tolerance shaming Alec right now?
No, I'm
I'm
doing
No,
that.
no, no.
Cheat
I'm
day.
talking about Trev. I'm talking about Trev.
Oh, yes, I
Trev
was.
being like, "You're tipsy after one beer." Like, yeah, maybe
Yes,
he
I
is.
am. Yeah, he lives in Wisconsin where they drink a lot of beer and eat a lot of cheese. So I am shaming him. Yes, I am.
hey, guess what?
Yeah.
Fuck off.